The victory curdled in my chest. In trying to carve my own lane, I'd pulled all three of them into collision. I leaned forward. What did she say? She said she can keep you alive. But she'll only do it if you cut them both out completely. It wasn't just a choice anymore. It was survival. And now the stakes were right there on the table, staring back at me. Side with Victoria, and be her asset until she decided I wasn't worth the upkeep. Side with Adrian, and be his tool until he burned me out. Side with Moraine, and join her vendetta, which could end with all of us dead. Or keep walking my own path, knowing it might get me killed before I took the second step. Gabriel's gaze was steady. So, which is it? Before I could answer, my phone buzzed again. 3 messages stacked in sequence. From Victoria, we need to talk. Now. From Adrian, don't make the wrong move, Leah. From Moraine, you have 1 hour to decide you want walking out of this alive, you or Gabriel. The office suddenly felt too bright, the glass walls too exposed. Gabriel must have seen the shift in my expression because he set down his coffee and said, "Talk to me." I showed him the 3 messages. He read them without a word, then exhaled through his nose. If all 3 of them know you're here, we've got maybe 20 minutes before one of them shows up in person. And when one shows up, I said, the other 2 won't be far behind. I crossed to the wall of windows, scanning the streets below. Nothing yet, but I knew better than to trust stillness. Gabriel stood and unlocked a drawer in his desk, pulling out a thin metal case. If you want to keep walking your own path, you need more than ideas. You need insurance. Inside the case was a stack of data drives, each labeled in neat block letters, V, A, and M. What is this? He gave me a small, sharp smile. Everything I've collected on Victoria, Adrian, and Moraine. Enough to make each of them very careful about crossing me, or you. I stared at the drives. Why would you give me this? Because if you go down, he said simply, I go with you. And I'd rather we both stay upright. Before I could respond, my phone buzzed again, this time, not a message, but a live video feed. I answered without thinking. The image was shaky, taken from a phone camera inside the building lobby. Victoria, in her navy suit, striding toward the elevators. Behind her, Adrian, looking like he'd just cut through security without breaking pace. Neither had noticed the other yet. Gabriel moved fast, locking the drives into a slim messenger bag and shoving it into my hands. Service stairs. Now. We slipped out the back of his office, moving down a narrow stairwell that smelled faintly of dust and metal polish. On the 4th floor landing, I froze. A shadow moved just below us. A woman's voice floated up the stairwell. Calm. Controlled. Leah, you've got 40 minutes left. You can keep running, or you can start winning. Moraine. Gabriel glanced at me, his jaw tight. She's already in the building. The pounding of footsteps from above told me Victoria and Adrian weren't far behind. We were boxed in one thread above, one below, one waiting to see who came out breathing. Which way? Gabriel asked. I gripped the messenger bag, heart racing. Neither. His brow furrowed. Then what? We split, I said. They can't take us both if they don't know which one has the leverage. The problem was, I wasn't entirely sure I trusted him with half of the leverage, but in the next 30 seconds, we'd either make that gamble or lose everything. We didn't have time for second guesses. Gabriel shoved the stairwell door open to the 4th floor hallway while I took the next flight down. 2 hours at the fallback point, I said, keeping my voice low. He nodded once, eyes sharp. Don't get caught. The door swung shut between us. I kept moving down the service stairs, the messenger bag heavy against my shoulder. My phone buzzed again, a single text from Gabriel, sent just before the split. They'll come for me first. I hit the ground floor and pushed out into a loading bay. 2 men in tailored suits were waiting, not circle security, not Adrian's usual muscle. One of them stepped forward, lifting his jacket just enough for me to see the outline of a gun. Miss. Leah, is it? His smile was polite, almost friendly. Our employer would like a word. I backed toward the alley. And who exactly is your employer? The man's smile didn't falter. The one who's been watching all of you fight over her for months. And she's tired of the noise. Before I could ask, a black sedan rolled into the bay. The rear window lowered just enough for me to see a pale face framed by dark hair. Not Moraine. Not Victoria. Not Adrian. Whoever she was, she'd been watching all of us. From somewhere above, faint but distinct, came the muffled sound of raised voices, Adrian's sharp tone, Victoria's icy reply. The suited man gestured to the car. "It's not safe here. For you, or for your friend upstairs. Gabriel." If this woman's people had me, how long until they went for him too? I tightened my grip on the messenger bag. "I have somewhere I need to be in 2 hours." The man's smile widened. "Then you'd better hear her out fast." I glanced back toward the bay doors. I could run, but I knew I'd be running blind, and whoever this was, she already had eyes everywhere. I exhaled and stepped toward the car. The door opened from the inside, revealing the woman's gaze, calm, assessing, as if she were weighing my value like a jeweler appraising a gem. "Leah," she said, her voice smooth as glass. "Let's talk about what happens when you stop playing their game and start playing mine." The sedan door closed behind me with a muted thunk, sealing out the street noise. The interior smelled faintly of leather and jasmine, expensive, restrained, calculated. The woman beside me was dressed in a charcoal-wrapped dress, no jewelry except for a slim silver bracelet. Her pale eyes studied me without urgency, like a chess player looking 10 moves ahead. "I'm Cassandra Vale," she said finally. "You've heard of me, though you might not realize it." The name landed like a faint bell. I had heard it, whispered in Victoria's circles as someone too unpredictable to court, too dangerous to cross. In Adrian's world, she was a ghost, someone whose deals collapsed competitors without ever leaving her fingerprints. "What do you want?" I asked, keeping my voice steady. A small smile curved her lips. "You've built something rare, Leah, a path that isn't theirs. That's not easy when you're being pulled apart by 3 different predators." She leaned back, her gaze never breaking from mine. "I'm offering you the resources to make that path real. My network. My reach. My protection. You'd still be independent, but with the weight to keep Victoria, Adrian, and Moraine in check." It was exactly what I wanted to hear, which made it dangerous. "And what do you get out of it?" I asked. Her smile didn't change. "When someone like you exists outside the game, the board shifts. I like shifting boards." The sedan slowed, pulling into an underground garage. She reached into a slim case at her side and slid a black folder toward me. Inside were high-resolution photos, Victoria shaking hands with an unlisted foreign investor, Adrian meeting with a known money launderer, Moraine slipping into a secure building under a stolen ID. All time-stamped within the last month. "This," Cassandra said softly, "is your insurance. A gift. But once you use it, you'll need me to keep you alive." I looked up sharply. "So I would still owe you." Her eyes warmed slightly, though the expression never reached her mouth. "Everyone owes someone, Leah. I'm just honest about it." The car came to a stop. Cassandra opened her door but didn't step out yet. "Think fast. You have less than an hour before one of the others finds you. I can take you somewhere none of them can touch you, for now." I looked down at the folder in my lap and realized that in my hands, I now held enough to burn all 3 of them. The question was whether I wanted to burn them one by one, or all at once. The garage was silent except for the low idle of the sedan's engine. Cassandra still hadn't moved to step out, and neither had I. The black folder in my lap felt heavier than the messenger bag at my feet. 52 minutes left before the hour Moraine had given me expired. "Protection," I said slowly, running a thumb along the folder's spine, "always comes with rules." "What are yours?" Cassandra's pale eyes held mine. "You don't hand over the folder to any of them. You don't meet with any of them without me knowing first. And you don't use what's inside without my sign-off." So it was a leash silk-wrapped, but still a leash. "And if I walk away right now?" I asked. She smiled faintly. "Then you'll still be alive at midnight, maybe. But you'll burn through those drives Gabriel gave you in days, and then you'll have nothing." I looked back at the folder. The photographs inside weren't just compromising, they were volatile enough to detonate entire sections of Victoria's, Adrian's, and Moraine's networks. The kind of material that didn't just shift the board, it overturned it. The choice was clear. Take Cassandra's protection, play under her shadow, and build my fourth path with her resources. Or risk going solo now, use the folder as a weapon, and hope I could survive the backlash. I slid the folder back toward her, but kept one photo tucked between my palm and thigh. Adrian, meeting with the launderer. Insurance for my insurance. I'll think about it, I said. But I'm not walking into another cage without knowing the lock from the inside. Cassandra studied me for a beat, then nodded. You've got 48 hours before they force your hand. Use them well. She tapped the roof, and the driver pulled away. When we emerged back into daylight, she opened my door. One more thing, Leah. Gabriel's already been approached again. If you want him to stay yours, you'll need to remind him why. The door shut behind me, and the sedan rolled away into the traffic, vanishing like it had never been there. I pulled the hidden photo from my pocket and stared at it. 2 days. Gabriel in play. 3 predators closing in. And now a fourth, smiling like she was the only one who saw the whole game. Maybe she was. I didn't head back to the suite. Too obvious. Too easy to watch. Instead, I took a corner booth in a quiet cafe 3 blocks from Gabriel's office, ordered a coffee I didn't plan to drink, and pulled out the photo I'd lifted from Cassandra's folder. Adrian, leaning in close to a known money launderer, time-stamped just last week. It was the kind of image that could get him locked out of entire markets, or worse, invite investigations that even he couldn't maneuver out of. But I wasn't going to leak it. Not yet. I was going to make him think someone else already had.